Good morning, film fans. Epic Film Guy Justin here. And as you can see, I am still alive and breathing here in the flesh. I lived through Josh Trank's, or as I should call it, Fox's Fantastic Four reboot. Now, bad press aside, bad rumors aside from the set, I, as a movie fan, give every single movie an open opportunity to wow me. For me to experience it firsthand, leave everything at the door, reviews aside, and just allow myself to sink my teeth into it. And I gave this one an open shot, as I do every single other movie I watch. And for once, I agreed with the fanboys on this one. Unfortunately, I hate when that happens, but it does happen from time to time. And in this case, Josh Trank's Fantastic Four reboot was a complete and utter pile of garbage. Now, there are many reasons for that. Do we know the real reason why that is? No. I don't believe that we'll ever find out exactly what caused an issue on the set, whether it be Trank having a drug problem, being incoherent to his production team. Who knows what happened? But when I first heard that Trank was going to reboot Fantastic Four, I was excited. Among other fans, I know that a lot of people liked Chronicle. Really excited when I heard the news. I thought Chronicle was a great original movie about kids that get powers and how they deal with them. I thought he would be the perfect choice to see what he could do creatively with Fantastic Four. Now, a lot of people hate Tim Story's Fantastic Four movies, and rightly so. Outside of Lawrence Fishburne's Silver Surfer, which was very quick, those films are pretty bad. I mean, dude, Julian McMahon's Dr. Doom, one of the hammiest villains of any comic book movie ever. But to leave that aside, people were really hoping that Fox could do something with Fantastic Four. I think the root of the problem here is that Josh Trank did not really care to make a Fantastic Four movie. I think he had an idea for a movie that was an original sci-fi film that he wanted to make, but at its core, that's what makes this movie bad, is even the good ideas he does have that show, it's not Fantastic Four. I'm not going to get too deep into story. This review is going to be pretty quick, more of a rant than anything else, because, dude, there's a lot wrong with this, and there's a lot of reasons why, and I don't think, like I said, we're ever going to find out. All right, pretty basic story. Pretty bad story. Okay, so, scientists looking for a way into another dimension to find out what else is out there that could possibly save us on Earth, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it 1,000 times. Almost taking a cue from Interstellar in a way, but just half-assing it. And they find Reed Richards, whose little experiment can transport items or things or matter from one dimension to another. He works together with the team that they have, which was made up of Toby Kebbell's Victor Von Doom, Kate Mara's Sue Storm, and, of course, Michael B. Jordan shows up as Johnny Storm / the Human Torch in this. Now, number one thing is the casting in this film is great. Jamie Bell as the Thing as well. Everything is great when it comes to casting decisions. I even, for the most part, enjoyed the first half of the film. Flaws aside, there are many, and some really bad acting parts as well. That has to come from, directing. But I liked the first half, for the most part. I actually liked the tone, I liked the different vibe that it gave off, and I thought that, the characters we had were interesting enough to sell the rest of the film. It's when they go to that other dimension, and they come back with their powers, where the film falls completely apart into rocks, mess, garbage, whatever you want to call it. It was just a total and utter complete pile of garbage. The pacing is horribly off. The dialogue is bad. There's no true family feel to the Fantastic Four. Half the rest of the third act of the film, Reed Richards isn't even there. It's playing with the whole idea of the military using these people with their powers for their own purposes, for military use and for destruction and blah, blah. It's the same idea we get in all kinds of movies like this. The disconnect, I think, is where Josh Trank's vision was and where Fox's idea of what a Fantastic Four movie should be. I think they had a huge disconnect in between. One wanted to make one thing, another wanted to make another, and I think Trank was just a huge rebel on set and really butted heads with Fox. I mean, it shows here because the first half of the movie at least has a continuous vibe and tone to it that seems to reflect the idea that Trank had. Once the second half comes in and they have their powers, there's a very dark drama thrown in there. There's some half-witted attempts at comedy, and then at the end, there's a shoehorned in 5-minute sequence of typical generic comic book movie stuff that we're so used to seeing that does not fit anywhere near in this movie at all. It's just totally out of place. Toby Kebbell would be a great Victor Von Doom and a great Doctor Doom, but we never see Doctor Doom in this movie. What we see as Doom in this movie shows up in the last 10 minutes of the film, even though there's a couple of good scenes in there of him taking out some military that was brutal, and I loved the vibe of that. Completely wasted opportunity. This has got to be, in my opinion, one of the worst comic book movies ever made. This movie was worse than Green Lantern. At least that movie, for all of its flaws and being a bad movie, at least attempted to try to be one thing. Now, I know that they brought people in to do reshoots here, and that's where the different tone shifts are and why it doesn't feel like one coherent piece. I don't think the script was all that good either. I think the basic idea was good, just not good for a Fantastic Four movie. When the lines pop up, it's clobbering time at the end of this movie, I feel like the film itself should have been clobbered out and not released. I understand why there was an embargo now and why this film was set to fail from the beginning. I don't personally care to see another Fantastic Four movie ever again. No, I don't want to see Fox get the rights to it and do their own. Just let it go, man. Maybe the Fantastic Four just isn't the kind of property that lends itself well to major motion picture making. I don't know. I know this is more of a rant. I don't really care. This movie pissed me off, as it did many other people. And I hate the fact that I'm agreeing with so many fanboys, but hey, when it's true, people. I would not recommend watching Fantastic Four in the theater, though I heard it is going to be making about a $40 million opening this weekend and possibly taking the #1 slot. I am giving Josh Trank's Fantastic Four a 4 out of 10. Haha, yeah, pun intended. Like I said, there were a lot of cool original ideas in this movie, a lot of things that I did like. A couple of good character moments, and I really liked Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch, Kmart as Sue Storm. All the casting decisions were great in this, and Toby Kebbell was completely wasted as Doom, which makes me even more mad. This is an even worse representation of character development for a villain than even Marvel does, and that's pretty bad. When this movie makes Marvel Studios' character development for their villains make it look good, that's bad. It's really bad. 4 out of 10. I want to know what you thought of the movie. Bash ahead. Go ahead. Say what you want to say about it. It is a bad movie, and for many, many reasons. I will not completely fault Trank on this or the studio. None of us will never know. Yeah, a lot of people call Trank a spoiled little Hollywood brat, but whatever. I think the guy's a great visionary when you let him work his magic and if you let him do his own thing. But we'll see. Let's see what the rest of his filmography looks like. Yep, kind of a disjointed rant, but epic film guy Justin here. I want to know what you thought. Until next time.